Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Border Corner. I'm just doing a mix for birds doing their normal, my normal soft food mix that I do every week at this stage. I do the same as I do in the breeding season, but they just get fewer, so they get fewer feeds and slightly smaller amounts. So it's the usual thing with the soak seed. They get soak seed. They get Happy Bird starter. They get grated or blended, I should say, broccoli and carrots, and they get some soak seed. And then I just put that together with a level round food drawer of the egg food. I'm still using this one from Avery Supplies. It's got a really nice smell to it, and the birds really like it. So I'm just carrying on with that. I've changed the birds now that we're into this time of year. They finished the molt. I stopped giving them the Happy Bird Muta, which was specifically, the ingredients there were specifically set up for helping the birds through the molt. So I've changed over to maintenance now. What I found with my birds is if they don't have the Happy Bird in there, but it doesn't affect them obviously, because I still give them the same amount of normal food that I give them. But if I do put Happy Bird in, and as you can see from this shot, I've got Happy Bird in these cages. You can see how I give it to the birds in these glass dishes. I found that they do. If I take it out when I'm cleaning them and they don't have it in there for a couple of hours, when I finish cleaning them out and I put the glass dishes back in, the birds are straight on it again. So they really like it. So I've not had any problem with my birds taking the starter as well, which is a bit, I guess it's a substitute for pearl morbide that I used to give the birds. They don't have pearl morbide anymore, so they just have the Happy Bird starter. And as I say, the Happy Bird starter goes in the mix, and the maintenance food goes in the glass dish. So as I say, the birds are really keen on it. They really like it. So as you can see, it's all mixed in, nicely mixed together. So the birds are getting a nice variety. I don't know if that's coming in the shot properly actually, but. Yeah, so here we go. So we'll put it in and let them get tucked into it. As you can see, they know what's coming. They're all straight on it, so it's really nice giving them something like this time of year when they're busy with the shows, give them that little bit of an energy boost, give them something else. I give them conditioned seed. Show birds get conditioned seed twice a week, and all the other birds get conditioned seed once a week, and they get this egg food once a week as well. So just to enhance their diets really now they've come out of the molt. So also what I do at this time of year now that the birds are out of the molt, I dilute the seed that they have. So the breeders mix that they used to get, I now drop that down to like quarters. So 25% breeders, 75% breeders mix, so that I can make sure that any excess fat, that's just for the, I should clarify that. That's just for birds that aren't being shown. All the birds that are being shown are still getting the full breeders mix. All birds that are not being shown, so like the hens in the aviary and my over-year cockbirds, they're all getting the diluted seed. So yeah, 25% breeders and then 75% plain canary. It's just really to make sure that if there's any excess weight that those birds are carrying, or any excess fat, you want to try and get rid of it in time for the breeding season next year. So as soon as the breeding season's finished, I think my last show is on the 8th of December. So as soon as my show season's finished on the 8th of December. As soon as that happens, all birds then go on to that same diet of 25-75% seed, and then also I'll drop conditioned seed to once a week for all birds, and I still give them a little bit of conditioned seed just through the winter months, and also I give them the soft food mix once a week as well. So the other thing that I do in the winter, which I'll show you in a later video, is I put wild seed down for them. I like it. I don't just want to see the birds sitting on their perches. I saw this something that Keith Ferry mentioned on one of Matt Eld's Canary Room videos. Was about keeping the birds active during the winter rather than them just sitting on their perches. And it kind of resonated with me a little bit. So I do the same thing. So I throw the wild seed down on the floor of the aviary and then on the floor of all the cages as well. So just to give them some extra interest, really. So I think it works. It's nice to see all of the birds getting tucked into the soft food. I really like that. It all goes quiet. As you can hear now, there's a hush in the room as all the birds get tucked in. So these 4 birds I've just shown you are all going to the Royal Canary Association show this weekend. They'll be their first run out this year, so look forward to seeing how they get on. So here's a quick shot of the hens in the aviary. I've made a little table in the aviary that I put it's got a grasshopper type feeder, which is a lot easier when you've got a few birds in one place to feed. It's a lot easier using that. And then they're tucking into their soft food. So that normal mix again, just to refresh. It's I chop up carrot and broccoli, and that goes into the blender. And then I add to that some petit pois and some sweet corn. That all gets blended up together. And then there's some soak seed in there as well. Some Happy Bird starter. And then the round egg food drawer that you saw me put in at the start, that goes in there as well. Birds love it. You know, once it goes in, they all tuck in. There's a bit of a pecking order in here, which you'd expect. So this blue hen and this buff variegated hen, they're the 2 top dogs, and they make sure that they get what they want first. And that clear border hen that was there just now, she does come in occasionally. So, but these 2 are definitely the dominant birds. And then what they do then, if they want to drink, they have to fly up. So up here in this top cage in the aviary, is where the water is. So it makes the birds fly up to look for it if they're thirsty. Gets them having plenty of exercise going up and down. I've recently opened up this L side as well. So they've got a big variety of spaces that they can get into. And then around this side of the aviary, I've also got a big perch. This tends to be the main roosting perch for them all at night. I don't know if that's coming out because of the backlight. But yeah, so that's the hens, where they are and how they're getting on. The other thing that I've done now is with my over-year cockbirds. I've got them in this long flight cage now. So this is about 6 or 7 foot long. So it goes right up to the end black one there, cage 37 that is. And then I've got 2 cockbirds in here at the moment, both over-ear birds. There's one just hiding behind the bar there, just getting his egg food. But yeah, so I've got the cocks in here now. So similar sort of thing to the hens in the Avery. I've got the cocks in here so that they can shed any excess weight that they might have. This is my newly acquired white cockbird. Really looking forward, got great hopes for him to finally, hopefully, get a solid allied line going. So that's my plan anyway for next year. So I've got a clear hen that I'm going to put him to, and also I've got a self green hen that I'm going to put him to. So I'm hoping that I'll get some blues, so obviously some more variegators and maybe a clear white or 2. So that's what I'm hoping for next year from these guys. So also, I'm not sure if I've shown you this before, but this is a 6-foot span up here of 3 wire cages. Sliders are all out of these. And I've got 2 cocks in here as well. I don't think this is really coming out on camera very well. Let's try and zoom in. I don't think this is coming out on camera very well. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. But yeah, so they're in there as well. So that's another flight cage. And what I'll do is once the show season's over, I'll move all of the hens out of the single cages in the big block and create 3 more big 6-foot flight cages, and then I'll put the cocks that I'm keeping. There'll be either 2 or 3 cocks per flight cage. And this guy down here, if I can get him in view, this is a clear yellow cocker bred this year. I thought I was hoping that he was going to be a really nice bird, but I just don't think he's sitting right on the perch to be, a bird that you'd consider a bird that will do well on the show bench. But I'll see how he gets on. I'll probably still keep him into next year and breed with him. But at the moment, he's in this big 6-foot cage on his own as well. So he'll just stay in there on his own. You can see it's decent size for him, and I've got 1 perch high and then 1 perch low because he has to use more muscles to get up and down. I did actually try just dropping it onto the bottom of the cage, but what I found then is he just didn't touch it. He just flew from one end to the other. He didn't drop down at all. So, but yeah, so he's doing okay. So we're into the show season, obviously. I've done the Scottish National. I have to say, apologies for not doing a video for quite a while. I was planning on doing a follow-up. As soon as I'd done the Scottish National, I did some videoing. And the plan was to put a video out showing everything, what I'd seen there and so on. I'll probably will still put that out. I'll put a few highlights in this video. But I came home and didn't feel very well the next day. And I basically had a combination of flu and a massive flare-up of all my back pain. So I was in bed for a few days and didn't really get out of bed until the back end of last week. And then I was going to do Whitehaven, but unfortunately we had a family emergency, so I missed Whitehaven last weekend. So next up for me is the Border Canary Association show. So that one's tomorrow, Saturday. So I thought I'd just show you some things in case there's some folks out there that don't know, if they're new to showing their birds. Once you've entered your birds in the classes, which you've gone through and identified with the schedule, the club secretary or the show secretary will send you back some labels like these. And it's got the class number on it, and then the 3 denotes how many birds are in that class. So class 62 has got 3 birds in it, for example. So when they come back, you attach them to your show cage. I've got one here that I've already done. And as you can see on here, the label is actually, the center of the label has to be level with the perch, with this perch. So you do that on all of your all of your cages for all the birds that you want to enter. And the other thing is with perches, there's a specific ruling with perches as well. So this is the drinker hole that we put the round drinker on, and one perch goes in the middle of that. And then there are 6 bars between that first perch and the second perch. And that's the correct distance that we're supposed to put our perches on. Thanks to an eagle-eyed viewer, Fraser. He spotted that I'd got my perches in the wrong place when I put them in for the Scottish National, which I can't believe that I did. I don't know how I did that. But thanks to Fraser, I was able to quickly go through and change them all before I'd actually entered them in the show. So I've got to get on with that now and finish those off. The other thing, that when you go to the show, you'll have a lifting card. And this is, again, these come in various different forms that the secretaries send out. This is basically shows what birds you've brought to the show. So when it's time to collect the birds at the end of the show, you verify that the birds that are on the lifting card are your birds. These get sent out at the same time as the show labels. And then if you've got a bird, for example, that you're not entering, I've got an over-ear hen that I'm not going to enter tomorrow because she just doesn't seem right. I just put a line through it. So, and then when I'm checking them in, I'll tell them that that particular bird isn't going to be present. And then the secretary who checks them in will just initial the box. So I'm going to crack on with that now and get the rest of those stickers done. And that's it. That's my show cages labelled. The other thing that we do with border canaries is we put oat husks in the bottom of the cages. They usually come quite dusty, so you have to give them a really good sieve to get any of the dust out. But that gets done as well. That goes onto the bottom of the cages. That's the convention standard for show cages. I did go to the Scottish National. That was 2 weeks ago. This Sunday coming up, it's been 2 weeks ago. And totally made up to have won Best Border. It was a 3-part dark cockbird, 3-part dark yellow cockbird, flighted bird, so one of last year's bred, and he won for me. I also had an best unflighted novice as well. Unfortunately, I was the only novice that entered the show, so it's a bit of a hollow victory in some ways when you're just competing against yourself. But the bird that won my best novice, 3-part dark yellow cock, also won best in show. He beat a couple of champion birds as well, so I was really chuffed for that. So I think it shows my birds are going in the right direction, gradually starting to improve the birds that I've got. When I actually take a look at them this year, they're a lot more typey. and are starting to show the sort of shape that we're looking for. So still masses of distance to go, obviously. It's only my excuse me, it's only my third year this year, but I'm definitely starting to see some improvement in the birds. So this weekend, as I say, it's the Border Canary Association. You just see me do some of their show cages, getting them ready. So my friend Malcolm is taking them up for me tomorrow morning, and then I'll get to the show hopefully mid-morning. I did enter 10 birds, but one of these in this cage behind me, this 3+ dark hen, buff 3+ dark hen, she's quite a nice bird. She's just really been under the weather the last 48 hours. So she's more important to me as a breeding bird for next year than anything else. So I've decided to not take her. It's the British border on the 16th and 17th of November down in Frodsham. So if she improves, I will enter her in that. But if not, then she probably might not go to any shows this year. So that's it really. Oh no, one other thing to say. It was quite a nice thing the other day. I was just having a little walk around out the front of the garden, and a lady from across the road called me, and we kind of met in the middle and started chatting. And she'd actually just heard from one of my neighbours that I breed canaries, and she's asked if she could have one. So I'm going to sort out one of the birds that won't be part of the breeding team for next year. I'll sort one of those out for her, and I'll gift it to the lady. She's only 2 doors down from me anyway. So, but I thought that's a nice little touch to know that one of my birds is going to be staying local. So, but anyway, that's it for now. Excuse me, sorry. That's it for this video. I'll be back hopefully after the weekend with some positives about the BCA. And then in the meantime, good luck with your show season. I hope your birds all come through the melt okay. Keep on birding, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.